today is role of media in the process of nation building and facilitating communal harmony. To simplify things, I'd like to provide a roadmap for what my paper essentially involves. So dividing my paper into 5 basic points, it starts with the definition of nationalism, not very technical, not very complicated, just how a layman understands what nationalism and what nation building is. So we start with the definition of nationalism, we move on to how nationalism emerged in India with the advent of British. Thereafter we talk about the significance of nationalism in the Indian context. Secondly, we move on to the definition of communalism and communal identity and the basic social construct that is the Indian society today. Thirdly, I have tried in my own way to classify causes of communal harmony in 4 essential broad points as to why essentially in Indian society communal disharmony occurs. Fifth, we talk about the significance of media, which is the primary purpose of this paper, along with the role that is played by the state and the provisions in the constitution. So, starting with nationalism and nation building. We see the emergence of nation began in the 17th in the period between the 17th and the 19th century. Now, nationalism essentially derives from the word nation. When we talk of nation, what do we essentially mean? We mean a feeling. Nationalism is basically a feeling of, belongingness. When I say I belong to India, when I say that I am an Indian, I feel a sense of belonging to this particular nation, that is the India. It brings all of these people sitting together. When we say we are Indians, what do we feel? We feel a feeling of solidarity, a feeling of oneness, a feeling of brotherhood together because we share a common identity that is related to the nation, that is nationalism. Now, how did nationalism in India, such a diverse land, come about? One of the biggest, the primary, what we can say is the primary, the credit of basically bringing us together as a nation has to be given to the British, because when they came, they brought the entire Indian territory, everybody, right from living in Kashmir to right to there in Kanyakumari and other parts of India, they brought them under a central administration. They established a centralized system of administration, they brought in education, they brought in railways which linked every fragmented region of the country together, where people from one state which was absolutely to the west could travel to one state which was absolutely to the east. So that brought us together as a nation. And then thereafter there was education. A new social class emerged which had been subjected to education, which had read about the French Revolution, which had read about their efforts at independence, their motto of fraternity, equality and brotherhood and liberty. So all of that inspired our people to fight for independence. Then we can see, there are lots of examples like the Satyagraha, the non-cooperation and the civil disobedience movements, where people cut across class, caste, gender and territory, all kinds of differences, religious differences. They cut across all of that to combine under one common leadership of Mahatma Gandhi to fight against one common enemy, the British Crown, for one common objective, that of attaining freedom and independence. Next, talking of communalism. The term communalism for a layman can be essentially broken down into 2 words, communal and ism. Now, communal is derived from the word community. Now, when we talk of communalism today, for obvious reasons, it has come to connote religion exclusively. However, when we talk of community in the 21st century era of globalization, community has a very, very, very wide, prospect. Community can be, the livelihood. Community can be caste, community can be region, community can be different people belonging to different culture. When we talk of the society, the Indian society, the most common term that is used to define Indian society is pluralistic. Pluralistic, the term plural. What we mean by when we say a community or a society is pluralistic, what we mean is it is multi-religious, it is multi-linguistic, it is multicultural, it is multi-traditional, multi-regional. There is immense diversity present in this country, and so when we talk of communalism, it goes so much beyond religion. It is regional, it is we have seen we've seen bloody partitions of states happening time and again on linguistic grounds. So we see that communalism is not exclusive to religion, but all-encompassing and including all kinds of diversity that is present in the nation today. Now we talk of every individual exhibiting different kind of communal identity. I might be a Hindu, I might also be a student, I might also exclusively be a student of student who is studying law. So I, as an individual, exhibit multiple communal identities, and which at some point or the other is in clash with somebody who exhibits a different kind of, different set of communal identities. So we should not, as an individual, we should not associate with one single communal identity. We are composed of a lot of other things apart from religion, or apart from region, or apart from education. Now, causes of communal disharmony. Broadly classifying the various causes of communal disharmony, we can break it down into 4 essential points. First one is placing one communal identity at a higher pedestal than others. If I come to see myself exclusively as a Hindu and fight with every other religion just because they are not Hindus, that in a sense is wrong, because I, as an individual, have more to myself than religion. Secondly, coming to the second point, is the clash of interest between different communities on major issues of livelihood or resource allocation. We have seen class division based on economics. Economics has been one of the biggest divides and biggest reasons for dividing the society into 2 major classes. There are people who have a lot of money. There are people who have absolutely no money. So this kind of social division that exists in the society is also a major cause of communal disharmony. Now, political malpractices, political malpractices such as vote bank politics. We have seen politicians encash try and divide us when we're not really in the frame of mind to get divided. They have essentially tried to divide us through various political malpractices just to attain political ends. Now, when we talk of primarily the state is responsible for promoting communal harmony, and apart from that, there is obviously what runs the state, what runs everything, our constitution. So we have seen that 3 basic principles that have been enshrined in the very constitution that helps to safeguard and helps to promote this communal harmony. These 3 basic principles being those of sovereignty, socialism, and secularism. When we talk of sovereignty, we say that in a state which is sovereign, the constitution the constitution is the supreme power, which means that no other community, whether majority, whether minority, can dictate terms of policy. So this means that this is a prevention against majoritarianism in principle. Now next we come to socialism. Socialism, we cannot absolutely eliminate poverty and bring everybody at par, but when we talk of socialism, what we essentially mean is that we are going to take an effort, we are going to make an effort to actually constructively try to remove inequalities, to actually bring in people, level the playing fields, bring in reservations, bring in people who have been subjugated to lots of years of exploitation and exploitation under the British, thereafter exploitation by the richer classes. They need a chance, they need an opportunity. When we talk of socialism, we talk of bringing in this opportunity to people who truly and genuinely deserve it. Next, we talk about secularism. Essentially, secularism in legal terms means that the state shall not advocate any particular religion. The state will be neutral. An individual, by his rationality, by his line of reason, is allowed to follow whatever religion he chooses and thinks that the ideals or the principles of that religion is applicable to him, or it suits his needs. So he can follow that religion, and state shall not discriminate on that basis. And if the state discriminates, it is a punishable offence. Now, we come to the significance of media. Why is media so important when we talk of communal harmony? Because media has the reach. A person sitting in Jammu and Kashmir, a person sitting in Kanyakumari will know something that happens in UP or in Bihar through media. Media has the reach to actually communicate what is going on around the world to absolutely everybody, whether that person is in UK, whether that person is in India, or whether that person is anywhere in India. So this is one of the primary reasons why media has been re-Christianed mass media, because it is to the masses. Everybody can see it. It is available to the masses, and this is probably the boon and the bane of media. Why? Because when you show an event to the mass, what happens? When media portrays something in a particular light, what happens? They influence, they mobilize, they organize. They mobilize public opinion. People watching a particular news, somebody living in Jammu and Kashmir watching a particular viewpoint of Bihar will have a mental construct. They will imagine a Bihar or a Bihari to be like that. When movies show Biharis as uncouth or vulgar, that is what the general impression of Biharis all around the world becomes, or people from UP. That is what the general impression becomes. That is because media has and holds that power, and media, it is a social responsibility on the part of the media to effectively utilize that power to influence public opinion in a positive sense. Now, media's responsibility towards promoting communal harmony is most poignantly put in the guidelines issued by the Press Council of India's Code of Conduct, point number 20, clause 11, where the guidelines say journalists and columnists owe a very special responsibility to their country in promoting communal peace and amity. Their writings are not a mere reflection of their own feelings, but help to a large extent in molding the feelings and sentiments of the society at large. It is therefore of utmost importance that they use their pen with circumspection and restraint. So now, analyzing this particular guideline, what do we see? We see that the primary purpose of the media is dissemination of authentic, accurate, and well-analyzed information. The information they give out should be, verified by authoritative and valid sources. It should not be something that's just out of general or a generalization or a general perception of the editor or the media person who's speaking. They have that added responsibility on their shoulders to present well-analyzed, accurate, and neutral facts. Just the facts, objective facts. So they should not exaggerate or trivialize an issue. Distortion of facts of a particular issue is strongly discouraged. They should not promote stereotypes or prejudices. We know a society without stereotype is an ideal society which does not exist. But it is on the part of the media to actually, try to put an end to it. Or if there is an existing stereotype, put something positive in that respect so that that stereotype does not really have a negative impact. Now coming to communal disharmony, we have seen two contrasting cases of media reporting. One in 1984 anti-Sikh riots, and the second in the Godhra riots. We have seen how media reporting has changed over time. In the 1984 riots, what existed was basically state monopolized Doordarshan and very little print media. So ideally, what happened was after the death of Indira Gandhi, the entire press was busy with covering the funeral of Mrs. Indira Gandhi, and as a result of it, the media reports on the communal riots that happened as the Sikh, as we know them today as the anti-Sikh riots, that happened. The entire telecast of the riots happened a day late. So this is what happened when there was state monopoly and restricted media presence. Over time in 2002, competition in media market increased, and there were a lot of media channels covering the Gujarat riots very extensively and very comprehensively. There were footages of rioters bragging about killing people and calling them their achievements. So all of this came out, and people saw all of this. So when there were graphic images, when there were videos of this sort, what happened was people actually realized the gravity of the situation. Media played another very important role by bringing out the inaction of the government, by very clearly stating that there was a 90-kilometer region that was uncovered and unmanned by any police, and there was violence going on. So we have seen how the role of media has changed, and how it has gradually improved in playing a very active part in actually changing things. Now, 20 clause 3 of the same Code of Conduct Act says that the role of media in such situations, such as the Gujarat carnage or crisis, is to be peacemakers and not abettors, to be troubleshooters and not troublemakers. Now, to conclude, I would like to conclude with the 2014 parliamentary, one of the sessions in 2014 in the parliament, where there were statistics stating that there has been a 19% drop in communal incidents from 694 in the year 2013 to 561 in 2014. This means that with the presence of media, what does media essentially provide? They provide us with a forum to come together, discuss, debate, deliberate into matters of importance. It provides a space where multiple viewpoints on a single issue are explored, analyzed, and debated upon. It instills in the people a sense of tolerance and understanding towards those who are different from them. And all of this, a socially responsible media, thus facilitates communal harmony by instilling in the essential ideals of democracy in the people.